What's up? A to Z Sports here live on a Wednesday. It's also NFL schedule release day, and the Titans' week one opponent has been leaked. We'll discuss that and how difficult is this first opponent for Cam Ward's potential NFL debut on the road at the Denver Broncos. We will talk about that. We'll talk about how it feels like an outlier across the NFL week one slate. And then we'll talk about more of those things and more NFL schedule release day items because tonight at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. where Ryan's at, it'll be all of the NFL games will be out that aren't out already. We've got primetime games that have been leaking. We've got the international games that are out. We know all of this. Deborah says potential debut. Like Cam Ward's not going to start week one. Like, hey, I'm just going to couch it before I get too ahead of myself, right?
I saw that on Twitter yesterday. Someone had literally tweeted out like the Will Levis versus Cam Ward quarterback battle begins. I'm just like, I don't think that's a quarterback battle.
No, sure, like Cam Ward's going to start week one, but again, just to make sure we're not putting the cart before the horse too much. The potential debut, the ideal debut for Cam Ward is at Denver. We'll discuss if that is a good. How difficult that opener is. We'll go through the different items. You got Titans opponents. Who would you rather play early in the season versus play late in the season? How many primetime games the Titans have? That's our annual question on this day. And Ryan Roberts of A to Z Sports Film Room is on the show today. Gonna have a good one here talking Titans schedule leaks and see where we go from there. But Ryan, welcome in. Apparently your audio is a little low. I'm not sure if you saw that or not.
I just adjusted it, so hopefully
you're good in my
manually.
Ear, so
okay, all right.
Just talk louder. Just yell.
Yes,
like I do. So there you go. All right, Ryan, tell the people what they got to do here before we get off and roll.
Yep. Well, folks, appreciate you for the audio check early in the show, but excited to talk about the obviously debut of Cam Ward in the opening season and then obviously schedule release day, which is kind of anticlimactic a little bit. Like, it's always fun to see the full schedule kind of in front of you, but you get so many leaks beforehand. It kind of ruins a little bit of the magic at times, but excited to get into it. Before we get into it though, folks, make sure, don't forget to share the show. If you're watching on Facebook, hit that share button in the bottom right-hand corner and get it live on your feed. If you're watching this on YouTube, take that YouTube link, send it to a friend in your life and one of your favorite group chats. Just find that Titans fan and let them know that A to Z Sports is live and talking NFL schedule release date, Cam Ward debut. You can also repost it on Twitter or X to help spread the word. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and leave a like on the show before we get going here on a wonderful Wednesday morning.
Yep, let's do it officially. Welcome into A to Z Sports here live on a Wednesday. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Ryan Roberts of A to Z Sports Film Room. We are Nashville's on-demand sports talk network, going live weekday mornings at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links to the show segment by segment on our Twitter X timeline. Hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads for more great Titans content. If you would, it would be great if you leave us a 5-star Google review. That goes a long way for us as a company. And you can help us out there. You can also help by supporting our sponsors because they truly make it happen for us and they help out all of you. Wilson County Hyundai, make them a part of your new car buying process. See them in Lebanon or online, wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care, and the Barton Drury Insurance Group, customized insurance solutions for all of your needs. They are local to the Nashville area and also online at bartondrury.com. Vanessa said the schedule came out, put it up. No, the schedule has not come out. Just one game has been leaked. And that is the week one game. This is according to Jordan Schultz. This was last night, roughly around 9:30 Central Time last night. Bo Nix and the Broncos will open the season at home against the Titans in what's expected to be Cam Ward's NFL debut, September 7th. Not a nooner, but the 3 p.m. slot on Fox. So Cam Ward, his first game as a Titan, all of a sudden the Titans moved out of the traditional noon slot. But that is the game that is reportedly the week one opponent, which Ryan, Easton, you and I were texting yesterday, kind of monitoring the situation for today's show. And we thought it was going to be a divisional game, right? because all these schedule leaks that come out about week one, you've got the debut Eagles hosting the Cowboys. You got the game in Brazil with the Chiefs and the Chargers, and other games in week one were coming out, and they were all divisional opponents. We thought Titans divisional week one. That's what it seems like. But then Jordan Schultz puts out at the Broncos. What are your thoughts on the divisional aspect of this not holding true, where it does seem like the rest of the league is playing divisional matchups in week one, but the Titans and Broncos are not?
I mean, I would love to know the reasoning for it more than anything. I know in our chat before the show, Easton had said that this was the only leak so far for the first week that is a non-divisional game, which is just super interesting. I mean, I assume, and I mean, this is just kind of a little bit of galaxy brain thing going here, I guess, but you are in a division where I think that I think that there's something to the effect of, for me, if I'm the league and I'm making this schedule and I'm putting everything together, that I would rather see the number one overall pick against a team that has a little bit of something behind them from just a little bit of hype perspective. Okay. Like if you put it against a Jacksonville, for instance, Jacksonville might be good.
I mean, Travis Hunter, though, right?
Yeah, they do have Travis Hunter. That would have been a little bit of a lure for that game. But I think that they wanted a little bit of like, hey, Denver Broncos, Bo Nix coming off of a great season last year. They look like they're a team that's kind of continuing to trend upward a good bit. Like they have Sean Payton. They have a little bit of a allure from like a national perspective. So I'm curious if that comes a part of it. Like you want the number one overall pick against a team that is considered obviously a playoff contender after making it last season.
Yeah, for sure. So the Colts have opened into the division in the last like 3 years, I believe it is. They played like Jags, Texans, Jags, or something like that over the last few week ones. And so that was the idea that the Colts could maybe play the Titans in week one, but that's not happening. And so here's my guess is that the Raiders will probably play an AFC South team in week one because the Chargers and Chiefs are playing each other and the Titans are playing the Broncos. So you've got the Titans playing an AFC West and one is left, so you might have that matchup. So I do think it's kind of fascinating to see how that plays out. Now, you also brought up when we were kind of talking pre-show about the quarterback storyline, right? Because narratives are important, especially week one. And it's interesting, 6 quarterbacks drafted in the top 12 a year ago, where you just have Cam Ward goes 1, Jackson Dart slides to what, 25 or 25 in the first round, and then Tyler Shuck 40 overall as the next quarterback. So 6 in top 12 and then just 3 in 40 the next year. Where would you have had Bo Nix and Cam Ward stacked up if they were in the same draft class? Because I think that's a different storyline that we'll be approaching if, in fact, this Titans at Broncos is the week one game.
So as prospects, I preferred Cam to where I liked Bo Nix a year ago. I liked the floor of Bo Nix. I didn't love the ceiling of Bo Nix. He actually, like complete transparency, he played. I thought he was going to be a fine rookie because I thought he brought a good floor to the table, but I did not think he was going to play as good as he did last year. Like he played beyond my expectations. But as true prospects, I still had Cam rated above where I had Bo last year. And it's funny, we were talking before the show about, like, again, it's a little bit of a galaxy brain. It's a little bit of like super hypothetical stuff, but I do think there's something to be said about, there was a big conversation point the entire draft process for people that follow the draft of exactly what you just said. Where would Cam Ward fit if he was in the 2024 NFL draft class amongst those? And usually the conversation centered around Ward versus Penix versus McCarthy versus Bo Nix. Like those are the 3 other quarterbacks that ever talked about. I think most people believe that if he was in last year's class, it would not have changed the very top of the class. Like it still would have been Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and then Drake May. Like that would have been good. But it was a fight for like that quarterback 4, quarterback 5. Like that's where the conversation would kind of happen. So I do wonder if that was a little bit of an allure. Like did it at least cross the schedule makers' minds of like, let's put him against one of the rookie quarterbacks for last year that we've debated on for so many months of where Cam Ward would fit into this conversation. So I think it's kind of interesting. You're going to see the parallel between Bo Nix and Cam Ward when that was such a conversation point throughout the last few months before the draft.
Yeah, well, the one candidate that I thought the Titans could play in week one was hosting the Patriots. for multiple reasons. For Drake May versus Cam Ward, but also Mike Vrabel's back as an NFL head coach, and his first game to be in Nashville would just be beautiful, right?
Yeah,
and the Titans haven't opened at home in a few years, and so they usually like to bring that back around. But the Titans reportedly on the road at Denver. And so I'll go ahead and show the graphic up there, the report from Jordan Schultz of Fox last night. Sources, Bo Nix and the Broncos will open the season at home against the Titans in what's expected to be Cam Ward's NFL debut Sunday, September 7th at 4 p.m., 4:05 Eastern time on Fox. That's 3 o'clock Nashville time. And then, of course, the time zone of the game that's going to be played in is not Eastern, it's Mountain time. So a bunch of different time zones across the board there. But the late afternoon slots, Titans at Broncos. So let's discuss this. I think this is an interesting topic, question. What's the difficulty level of the Titans opening for Cam Ward at Denver? What's the difficulty level on a 1 through 10 scale? And that is 10 being this is the hardest test of the season, 1 being cupcake, which you really don't get in the NFL at all. But the Broncos have a good defense. The Broncos were a playoff team a year ago. The 7th seed in the AFC, now under year 2 with Bo Nix. So a lot of you guys are already filling up the chat with your thoughts. The difficulty level on a 1 through 10 scale of the Titans opening at the Denver Broncos, 1 through 10. But first, I'm going to tell you guys about the Barton Drury Insurance Group. That's where Zach and I turned for our employee health coverage benefits when we were shopping around the market, looking to provide that. The next step in our company's growth was how do we provide health coverage for our employees? And we're able to do that with the Barton Drury Insurance Group, customized solutions for all of your insurance needs. These 4 guys have teamed together over the last couple of years that they were out doing their thing individually, but said we can be better together, and they merged, and they are phenomenal at what they do because they can help you out in just about any type of insurance product that you need, whether it is employee benefits, it could be umbrella, it could be personal, auto, liability, workers' comp. They've got everything right there, and they have the customer service to go along with it that is top of the market customer service because they are local. They care. You can get a hold of these guys. They're approachable. They're sports guys. They're Titans fans. They appreciate the conversation of that, and they want to make sure that you understand what your insurance policies are because they can be very overwhelming and intimidating, but they can help you out online at bartondrury.com.
Make sure, folks, before we discuss the Denver Broncos opening matchup with the Tennessee Titans and the difficulty, make sure you hit that like button. And after the show, if you could please go to Google A to Z Sports, give a 5-star review. Only 5-star reviews. I actually was looking at the reviews yesterday, and there's nothing but 5-star reviews for A to Z Sports. So make sure that continues. Leave positive comments, but if you have some constructive criticism, feel free to put it in there, but always leave it under a 5-star review to help.
Boom. Ryan Roberts of A to Z Sports Film Room with me on this Wednesday, talking Titans schedule week, and we have the Jordan Schultz report. The Titans are opening at Denver, so on the road for what is expected to be Cam Ward's NFL debut. How difficult of a game is that for Cam Ward on a 1 through 10 scale? So Ryan, I'll send you to the chat. Difficulty ratings, what are you seeing from the chat on 1 through 10, with 10 being the highest?
Looks like we're on the same wavelength, especially early. We had Steven who said it's a 6. We had Cody who agreed with the 6. 7.25 from Cam Ward's burner. He's already got a burner account. Love that.
Wow.
6.5 from Greg.
By the way, time out. This might be, I think I have found a burner for a Titans rookie.
Okay.
I'm just going to throw that out there. It's either,
but
it's either the players, no, not Cam. It's either a player's burner or a family member, but it is a faceless, pictureless account that is very much going to bat for that player.
Love it.
Just throwing that out there.
Love it. I've come across many of those over the years.
Sure.
Many of those over the years. I Hiroshi with 7. We had 6s from American Toff and from Titans Kyle. only a 4 from tall Texans. So he's not that worried about the Denver
Okay.
Broncos. Coach Wills isn't overly worried either. He has a 5, but then we get back into the 6.5 from Adams, 7.7 from top tier, 7.5 from Jon Snow, Game of Thrones legend, Jon Snow. We also have Guy Man with a 7, Zay with a 7, 8.5 from Eric, which is the highest that I've seen so far. We have another 7 from Jonathan, 7s across the board from Apollo and Big G, 8.7, a new high from Nick Ewing, 6 from Jason Brown, 8 because it's on the road from Rooney. We got 7, 8 again from Colin, 7 from Orlando, 7. Oh, here comes one. We got a 9. That's a new high so far from Zenzi. That's how I'm going to pronounce that. I could be completely wrong on that. My apologies if I am, because it's in Mile High. 8 from Eric, 8 from Deborah. We got a 6, got an 8. We got a 9.5 from Reitz. We got 7 from NM Titans, 7.5, 7s. So, I mean, Austin, it's generally speaking, most of it, I would say, is between the bucket of 6 and like 7.5. That's the most. We got a couple that were in the 8-9 range, a couple that were below 5, but for the most part, I would say people are mostly around 6 to 7.5, somewhere in that ballpark.
Bork just comes in here late with a 9.
Okay.
Wesley says 8 because have always seemed to struggle with Denver, and it's away. The last time the Titans they opened the season in Denver on a Monday night late kick on a doubleheader. And they beat the Broncos at the very beginning of the COVID season in 2020. The Titans missed 4 field goals. It was Steven Gostkowski's first game as a Titan, but then he came through and he hit the game winner. And they won like 16-14 or something gross like that. And so they won the last time they were in Denver. I believe that was the last time they were in Denver, which was 2020. So I think this is interesting, because the Broncos have a very good defense, right? Like, I think like Surtain being the defensive player of the year, of how quiet that was. Like, the Denver market is very intense there, but the Broncos aren't a national brand like they had been previously under Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Now, Bo Nix played great. If you would say Cam Ward has a Bo Nix level rookie season, Titans fans and coaches and front office people are doing backflips and back handsprings all over the place. So as far as the difficulty rating here, I think the good thing for this is the Broncos are one of the better teams on the schedule. So I'll just show here's who the Titans have, the opponents. You've got both Western divisions in the AFC and NFC, which means you've got playoff teams, right? Because you've got the Rams, you've got the Chiefs, the Chargers, and then you have the Broncos as well. I don't think I'm missing any playoff teams from last year of those divisions. Yep. Then you've got teams like the Niners and the Raiders, who are at the bottom of the division, that have improved greatly as well. So the Seahawks are different. The Raiders are different because they got Geno. The Seahawks don't have Geno, all that. So with the Broncos defense, I'm not trying to get too far off into this conversation, but the Broncos defense is probably one of the better defenses that the Titans will face this year on the schedule, on paper. So the benefit of that being Cam Ward's first game, where the Broncos have no tape, the Broncos have no idea what this is going to look like.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Advantage Titans or advantage Broncos. Like, I think if you're trying to find a silver lining on that, that's it. That you get to catch the Broncos off guard with new stuff out of the gate, because they're in no tape and you're not showing anything in the preseason for Cam Ward. And I don't think Cam Ward gives a damn. He's not going to have nerves. Like, Cam Ward doesn't have nerves.
That's true. Yeah. No,
no butterflies for Cam.
I think it's a great point. I think that definitely when a team doesn't know much about you, you have an opportunity to have early success, because they just don't know. Like, you are a complete unknown until you're not an unknown anymore. Like, you just are. I also think the other conversation, because we're always going to do the quarterback versus quarterback thing, right? Bo Nix was really good as a rookie. But there is a thing at times where there's a second-year regression for quarterbacks. Like, it has happened historically, right? So does Bo Nix take a slight step back? I worry less about that because he has Sean Payton, who is a very good offensive mind, so I worry less about like a steep second year regression, but it's happened. Like there's been some quarterbacks that have come out and looked like they were there was a time where everyone thought Mac Jones was going to be really good after his rookie year. They're like, oh man, Mac Jones, look how good he was as a rookie. And then he fell off the face of the earth. And that happens a lot. Like it really does when you just kind of take it from a historical context. So does Bo Nix take a slight step back? Does Cam Ward flourish because the Denver Broncos just don't know what to expect from him other than what they saw in the Miami tape last year? Like a lot of interesting parallels there. I will say this though, that secondary does worry me a lot because you mentioned Patrick Surtain. I will also mention that they drafted Jahdae Barron, the rookie out of Texas in the first round to play nickel for them. Riley Moss, I thought, showed a lot of positive process. And also they had one of the more productive pass rushes in the NFL last year, right? And they retained a lot of that talent, obviously. So they get after the quarterback and they have a really good secondary in theory. That worries me for a rookie quarterback coming in, even if they don't have a lack of tape. So, it's funny, Austin. Like, I almost feel like we need to separate this question. The difficulty for the Tennessee Titans of the game just against the Denver Broncos, I think could be a much different answer than the Denver Broncos for Cam Ward, because that is the very uniqueness of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
yes. Yeah. So I guess like, the nature of the question that we've thrown out there on a 1 through 10 scale, what's the difficulty level on the Titans opening in Denver for Cam Ward's debut? So we're focusing more on the Titans difficulty level, but I think the fact that the Broncos truly have no idea what the Titans offense is going to look like with Cam Ward, because you're looking at Cam Ward and Will Levis and you're saying Brian Callahan is not going to do the same thing with those guys.
Right.
I have no idea what to do. It's a tough game because it is one of the best defenses.
It's a tough game.
I think it's, we don't allow fives to be the answer on our 1 through 10 questions because that's sitting on the fence. I almost feel like a 7 is sitting on a fence as well. It's just an offense on the other side. So I think 7 is probably it's a tough game, but I think it's winnable.
It's winnable.
Week 1 is always ugly. Mm-hmm. Week 1, you have no idea what to expect. Week 1's a liar. That's all another cliche. Week 1 is a liar. And so I think it's something where the Titans can have one of the best defenses on their schedule in week 1 on the road. I like opening on the road, actually, more than I do like it opening.
In Mile High? You like going to Mile High, though? That's
yeah,
unique.
I mean, it's September. Like, I think, you got time to kind of prep for that. You're not exhausted. You're fresh. So I think I'm going to say it's a 7 to 7.5.
Yep.
Is where I'm at with the difficulty level on this one. It's not the bet. Maybe we could. I'll let you answer it, and then we'll kind of do a follow up here.
Yeah. So I was going to say 7.5, but I am leaning 8. Like if I had to lean one direction to the other, like I said, I think that this Denver defense has the potential to be really good against quarterbacks this year, especially. I don't know how good of a run defense they will be. I know they got Dre Greenlaw, who was banged up obviously from San Fran, and that maybe they'll be a little bit better against the run, just in a vacuum. But I do think that secondary worries me a little bit. And Cam, look, I trust that if Cam goes out in the first game against Denver and throws 2 or 3 interceptions, it's not going to phase him, I don't think. I think he's going to come back next week and he's just going to keep throwing. And you're good there. So I'm not worried about it mentally killing him. But I am worried about him making a couple of really bad early mistakes. I am. I mean, he's a little bit of a flamethrower. He's a guy that wants to be aggressive and a guy that wants to be a gunslinger. He literally has called himself a gunslinger. He's going to be aggressive, and aggressiveness can pay off. Can also cause a couple bad decisions at times, right? So I think there's going to be a couple bad decisions. I think it's going to be there against a really good secondary, against a really good pass rush. He's going to try to do a little bit too much at times, but it will be fine for the long term. It's called growth, and I think that he will grow from that opportunity. But I really do think that playing at Denver, when you have Sean Payton, who he's not a young coach where he's going to fall in the trap of wow, we had good success last year, now we're just going to kind of level out or bottom out like that. I don't think that's going to happen with Sean Payton. They're going to be very progressive in their mindset of getting better from last year. So I think that it's just a really tough early start in the first game. I'm going to give it a 7.5, leaning towards 8 though. I do think that it's a very tough matchup to start the season.
So Top Tier says the Titans haven't won week 1 opener since 2020.
Is that true?
Yep. Because that was in Denver. I mentioned that. 0-1, they got shellacked at home by the Cardinals. Or 21. I don't know why I'm doing that. But 22, I don't remember where they opened. 22, they opened at home against the Giants and got beat by Saquon on a field goal, missed field goal by Randy Bullock late. 23, they lost at the Saints. That was Tannehill, 3 interceptions. And 24 last year, they lost to the Bears when Will Levis threw the game away. So I also think that somebody brought this up too about the debut for Cam Ward. The last 2 times the Titans have had a highly drafted rookie quarterback make his debut, Marcus Mariota and Will Levis. Both quarterbacks
came out hot, right?
Came out hot.
Yeah.
Like the best debuts ever in NFL history.
Did Mariota throw like 4 touchdowns or something in his debut?
Both of them threw 4 touchdowns.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Like the best NFL debuts in history are Marcus Mariota, Will Levis, and Fran Tarkenton.
It's good company. 1 Hall of Famer and 2 future Hall of Famers. So there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, right. But does Cam Ward do it again? Like, is he the 3rd highly drafted quarterback by the Titans to come out and just ball and just drop 4 touchdowns on the Broncos?
Well, if he does, then they'll win, I think. Because I think someone said it in the chat, and I agree with it. I think Tennessee is going to have a pretty good defense this year. Like, I think the Titans have a opportunity to be a very, they're going to be very powerful up the middle, if nothing else, right? Like, they're not going to let a lot of teams run on them. I think the secondary obviously has still some question marks and continuing to rebuild it and getting more out of L'Jarius Sneed and like all those types of things. But I do think that they could potentially cause Denver some problems because like the one thing about Denver is Denver wasn't incredibly balanced last year. Like Bo Nix balled, but they were not a great running football team last year. So a team like the Titans that I think can stop the run and could be really tough up the middle. If you make the team one-dimensional, I do think you have a chance to be in. It might be a defensive battle week 1. Like ultimately, like it might be.
Yeah, which I think scoring can be low week 1 just because you're trying to get things ironed out. So my follow-up question was going to be, who would have been the best week 1 opponent for the Titans to try to win a game? And here are the opponents, and we'll get to the bigger topic of this too. Because your home games, Chiefs, Chargers, Rams, Seahawks, Patriots, Saints, the divisional opponents, opening at the Broncos, Raiders, Browns, Niners, Cardinals. Like week 1, like what would have been a guaranteed week 1 win? Ryan, from as much as you can guarantee a win in the NFL, what would have been the best, most advantageous week 1 opponent for the Titans on this screen?
It's a tough one between home with the Saints or away at the Cleveland Browns. Like those are the 2 ones because they're obviously the worst teams on the schedule. At least what we know of these teams early on and what it looks like they will be in 2025. But one interesting thing as far as like comparing them is obviously the Saints. Tyler Shuck at quarterback, Spencer Rattler at quarterback. Like we have no idea what that quarterback room is ultimately going to look like. They're a team that is just first year head coach Kellen Moore. Like it's going to be probably tough sledding, but I do think there's something to be said about going to Cleveland early in the season when it's not cold outside, right? And they don't have the dog pound really firing and be able to play against a team that is just a little bit in transition and disarray. So if I had to settle, I would say I would like Cam Ward to be super comfortable. So maybe the home against the Saints would be the one that I would land on, but I think the Cleveland one is kind of keeping it tough for me as well.
Yeah, there's a third one on my list too. Okay. But I agree. Like the Saints or Browns week 1 would have been great. Because the next to most recent time the Titans won a week 1 game was actually in Cleveland in 2019 when Mariota went berserk and they beat the Browns by a lot. And then Mariota got benched later on. But all right, let's ask this question because we're going to go back to that graphic and we're going to talk about the whole schedule. What team would you rather the Titans play early in the season versus who would you rather them play later in the season? So maybe there's a couple teams you want Cam Ward to have a couple months under his belt before you play so-and-so. So who do you want them to play early? And then who do you want them to play late? So you can say early team names, late team names in the comments, and that'll help us out go through that. So who do you want the Titans to play early versus who do you want the Titans to play late in the year. But first, the Bone and Joint Institute. If you have an injury in life, just like in football, things happen and you get hurt sometimes, you have to go where the experts are in the Middle Tennessee area. They are the destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Boneandjointtn.org is the website. To book an appointment, the doctors are phenomenal. They got a dozen of them that are great at what they do. They team together to create the Bone and Joint Institute about 4 or 5 years ago, and they do a great job in Franklin, Tennessee, off I-65 and Highway 96, right next door to Williamson Medical Center, where they have all the resources at their disposal under one roof. They can help you out all the time. So when that injury occurs, you know where to go, boneandjointtn.org.
Make sure if you're listening to this live on YouTube, hit that like button and make sure you subscribe to the show to know when the next show is coming. Obviously, we are live every day at 9 Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Time, but make sure you hit that subscribe button. You'll get that notification sent right to you. Google reviews, 5 stars. Constructive criticism is definitely okay, but make sure that it is attached with a 5-star review to help out A to Z Sports. Appreciate y'all.
All right, Ryan, I'll send you to the chat. I'm just going to throw the graphic up. We're going to keep the opponent's graphic up just so people can refer to it. So opponents you want the Titans to play early, and opponents you want the Titans to play later in the season that would be most advantageous. What are you seeing from the chat? A lot of comments flying in here.
Yes, a lot. We had IR Hosh who said Cardinals. I'm assuming he's talking Cardinals early on in the season. We had Chris Jump who says Colts would be the easiest game to win. Damian wants the Chiefs early in the season. Greg would like the Saints, I'm assuming early in the season as well. Titans Cal says play Browns early, Patriots later in the season. That's an interesting one. Jags early, Chiefs late from NM Titan. We have Chiefs early as well from Andre. We had division games late is what Chris would like to see. Rams late from Dominic. We had New England early from Bork. He says because it's a road game, Chiefs early because they roll late in the season. We had Colts early, Chiefs late from Zenzi. We had Lincoln who says Saints early, Chiefs late. So kind of split decisions on where you want the Chiefs in this, which is kind of interesting. Yeah. Early Patriots, late Chiefs from Eric. We got Patriots late from Tyler. We have Colts easy division win for early from Pistol. Early Patriots, late Kansas City from Richard. We had Tall Texan says Chiefs late. Someone in Kansas City will be arrested. Fun. That's hilarious. That's actually hilarious. Kenny Hill says early Chiefs.
But it hasn't mattered.
It hasn't mattered, but yeah. I actually, man, I don't know. There's a lot. We could probably have a very long conversation about where you would want the Chiefs in this schedule. Like that's a very
so let's do that. Let's pause here then.
Yes.
What's the best time to play the Chiefs? No, it's in Nashville.
Yeah, so. I think it's late. I think it's still late. I
really
look honestly. At the end of the day, it probably won't matter, right? It's like it probably will not matter because the Chiefs are very good and they are coming off a Super Bowl loss and they're probably gonna be very pissed off. But that's the reason I don't want them early in the season. I don't want a pissed off Chiefs after losing a Super Bowl for the first time in years. Like I do not want to deal with that smoke. To be honest with you, I think later in the season. Outside of the funny, someone will be arrested thing, whatever. Also, there's a chance that maybe the playoffs are almost wrapped up or are wrapped up at that point, and you're playing a team that is a little bit kind of let off the gas. Like, that's possible, right? So I just don't want to play them early in the season because I think they're just going to play a little bit pissed off early.
No, I think it's right there and smack dab in the middle. Like, play the Chiefs, bookend Halloween. Like, it's like Halloween, like the week before Halloween, or the week after Halloween. Like that's because it's right in the middle. Maybe the Chiefs are getting bored and they're playing with their food a little bit. They're pissed off from losing the Super Bowl out of their system early and they're not gearing up for the playoffs. I think that's the right time to play the Chiefs, right? Smack dab in the middle.
Okay, that's fair.
Maybe like Travis Kelce goes to a big Halloween party and he's a little bit hungover or whatever. I don't know.
You know what's also interesting is that at some point, and I know they just keep going to Super Bowls and they're coming off a bad Super Bowl loss and everything, but at some point also they're getting to some of their core is getting to the age bracket where you're just like they have to wear down at some point later in the season, right? Like they have to wear down. It's a thing. I mean, we saw regression from Travis Kelce last year. I know he played well in the playoffs before the Super Bowl, but like he did not look like himself, and I imagine that that's going to continue to kind of not look like yourself the further we get into his career. So I don't know, man. It's a fascinating one. Again, I'm just a little. I agree. Because I agree with you. If it's not later in the season, it's like in that middle section of like a lot of stuff happening and a lot of things going on. I just personally don't want to see them early in the season. If I was Tennessee, wouldn't want to see them.
Sneaky underrated storyline will be
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Swift in Nashville,
Oh
where she
yeah,
went to high school, where she kind of had her younger teenage growing up years, where she started her career doing shows on the Riverwalk before Broadway became Broadway. This is the first time that in the old Travis Kelce Taylor Swift relationship that they've played in Nashville. That's something. She'll be there. There's a
Travis is probably gonna
guarantee she will
propose.
be there.
He might propose that day. I don't know. Who
Propose
knows?
in Nashville. I mean,
He
might as well have the
propose in
bachelorette
Nashville.
party
It
and
would
the bachelor party right there too.
It would be magical. It would be magical. I also hate to report here live on the channel. This is breaking news. I think my 4-year-old daughter might be a Swiftie, by the way. Like it might be a thing. So she's obsessed with the song Love Story. I'm sure you know that song, but I'm sure everyone knows that song. But yeah, she is obsessed with that song. Yes, obsessed.
All right. So continuing. So let's, Ryan, I'll ask you,
Yep.
what would be the best opponent or two? Give me two teams that would be the best for the Titans to play early in the season.
Yeah, I mentioned it a little briefly. I ended up settling on the New Orleans Saints just because of the quarterback controversy. Well, I don't even know if it's controversy. Like I don't know if they have a plan for sure. Right? Like it's just Kellen Moore's first year. It's just they're in cap hell. Like it's not a good situation to be in New Orleans right now. So that would be one, and you get them at home. The other one is the Cleveland Browns. Like it is because I really think that roster just on paper is not good, man. Like it's just not good. They have a couple good pieces. Obviously, Myles Garrett's a great player. Denzel Ward's a great player. But there are holes up and down that roster on the offensive line. They might start, and this might go into the weeds a little bit. I know Big Ten Jeff was in here, right? But like they might be starting DeJuan Jones at left tackle. Like it's horrible right now in Cleveland. And who knows who's going to be starting a quarterback? Like maybe it's Kenny Pickett. Maybe it's Joe Flacco. Maybe it's one of the rookies. Like no one knows anything about that team. And I think that team right now, they're entering like danger zone for Kevin Stefanski as head coach. Like if they have a dud year again, back to back, you have to start thinking of like, hey man, like, is this going to get better sometime? Like, cause it's been okay at times, but it's been pretty bad now for a couple years, or last year, I should say. So if it's a bad year, tough sledding. So I think going to the Cleveland early in the season, home field advantage isn't going to be much. They're a team in disarray, a team in transition. Like I like Titans' chances against Cleveland Browns if it was early in the season.
So I agree. Both those teams will be interesting early. It would be advantageous. So I'm gonna mention two teams that we haven't talked about yet. I think playing the Colts early would be great because Anthony Richardson is not good. I'm on record. I do not believe in Anthony Richardson as an NFL quarterback. He wasn't a good college quarterback. He's not been a good NFL quarterback to this point. Play him early before the Colts shift gears. I think that would be opportunistic as well. And before he has a chance to get hurt. Because Anthony Richardson has played the Titans, twice? I think he's gotten hurt during one of those games the first time. And he's just not that good. It's pretty simple.
What was the stat you said the one show we were on about like the number of snaps he's played since high school or whatever?
Like 1,700 snaps in 5 years in college and in the pros. Now he was a backup at Florida and didn't play a lot, but if you even take like the 2 years in the NFL and his 1 year at Florida where he was a starter, it's still not much for the amount of games that have been available for him to play. So that the Colts are one. The other team that I think will be interesting to play early is the Seahawks too, because I think they have a lot of new things going on. I think the Seahawks and Raiders are kind of the same way.
I actually have a take on the Seahawks when you're done, because I actually disagree slightly with this one, but for a very unique reason. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, because Sam Darnold's the quarterback there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they traded away DK Metcalf. They don't have Tyler Lockett. They've got some weapons. I think there's just a team in transition right now, and I think playing the Seahawks early to catch them would be interesting for me. And it's a team coming from west to east, different weather type situation, what they're used to in Seattle. So, Brian, what's your Seattle Seahawks take?
I would rather play Seattle later in the season because, for a very specific reason, we have seen two versions of Sam Darnold during his career. Okay.
Yeah.
One version is he's horrible. Like at all points of the season, he's horrible. The other one, though, we saw this at Carolina a few years ago. And we saw this last year at Minnesota, where he starts out really good and he looks like he's the man for like the first 10, 12 weeks. And then by the end of the season, he stinks and he regresses and he's horrible down the stretch. So I would rather play them later in the season because whether it is the version A or the version B of Sam Darnold, he's going to stink at the end of the year. He's going to stink at the end of the year, and I think that you can pull one away from Seattle.
Yeah, the Coach Will says Sam Darnold cooked the Titans. Last year? No. No. The Titans lost to the Vikings last year. But if you remember that game, like anybody who is the don't blame the refs guy for a loss is blaming the refs for how the Vikings won that game. It was a terribly officiated game. The Titans got screwed so many times and just like objectively just like robbed against the Vikings, and they lost by like 10. And so Sam Darnold didn't cook the Titans. I think they know what Sam Darnold looks like. I think they can beat, I think early in the season they could beat the Seahawks at home. Which, you know, I don't believe in Sam Darnold. I don't think you do either, but I get what you're saying on that one. So
I'm curious about the Seahawks just in general, because I think you're right. I mean, there's obviously a transition period at quarterback that you're talking about. They're also a team that, like, wide receiver, they're a little bit redundant right now because it's like Jackson Smith and Jigba and Cooper Kupp are different stylistically, but they kind of play the same role in an offense. So like, how do they fit together? And their running game has been a little bit up and down because like Kenneth Walker's been banged up consistently the last couple of years. So yeah, they're a little bit of a weird team to kind of just figure out in general.
All right. So of teams we haven't mentioned yet, who would be better to play late in the season? Like, so the Seahawks are off your board for this question, Ryan. I'm looking, I think, you know, you have to check the internet. Is there a Call of Duty that's coming out this fall? Because you would want to check that date, play the Cardinals after that. That's the whole running joke there for Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
But who are some other teams that you'd rather play late?
Yeah, I think the Cardinals are one that I'm okay with playing anytime, to be honest. Like, I'm not very high on the Cardinals coming into the year, so I just think they're kind of going to be what they are, to be honest with you. I think the other team, and it's a little bit of our conversation point about Kansas City that we mentioned earlier as far as like playing them late. The San Francisco 49ers are another team that's like, they're aging quick, man. Like they're like one of those teams that is on the very end of their winning window and they haven't won yet. So maybe they're a very good team if they stay healthy. But when you're talking about the age aspect of late windows and the fact that injuries happen, right? And people get banged up. I mean, we just saw last year with San Francisco, when they are healthy, they're pretty good. When they're not healthy, they're a bad football team ultimately. Yep. So, you know, is Trent Williams able to stay healthy for a full season? Can Nick Bosa stay healthy? Like some of the vets now on this team have had a little bit of some injury concerns over the last couple of years. So the San Francisco 49ers, I think, are an interesting team as far as like trying to get them late because they might just be a roster that's a little bit beat up.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Teams that I want to play late, if I'm the Titans, the division. Outside of get an early Colts game in, like I mentioned, to beat Anthony Richardson and get one under your belt. Play divisional games late. And Ryan, I'm curious to see what you think about this. I thought last year's Titans schedule could have been opportunistic if the Titans didn't just completely go off the tracks with Will Levis turnovers early, because they had like 5 of their last 7 games or divisional games. And if they just get through at close to 500 leading up to that, you have a chance to win divisional games, to put yourself in a spot where those games matter more. They count twice, where you can try to win late after Cam Ward gets comfortable. It would have worked out last year if Will Levis didn't throw away he threw away like 3 games in the first 6 games. So the Titans could have been right there, but weren't. And so it was off the rails. But I think late divisional games for this team, the same as last year, makes a lot of sense to me.
So which one of the late divisional games, because I agree with you, which one of those late divisional opponents are the most the biggest wild card, I guess, for the lack of a better word. Because like I'm thinking about the Jaguars, for instance. I don't know if I would rather play the Jaguars. I'm not even talking about like Titan centric for a second. I'm just talking about in general. I'm not sure if as a team I would want to play the Jaguars early in the season or late in the season, because there's a possibility they come out with a little bit renewed sense of confidence under a new head coach, or it's the same transitional stuff that typically happens with first year head coaches. Like I'm very interested, like the
Yeah.
Jaguars as a wild card, late versus early. Like it's just kind of an interesting conversation, I think.
Yeah, it is. And the Jags have talent, but you just don't know how it's going to be put together. And is Trevor Lawrence going to be worth the contract, or is he just still kind of like on the line of do you pay him, do you not? And the Colts are an odd team because of the quarterback situation. The Texans are just the shoe-in division winners right now, and so like I just think getting yourself right is the best way to have a chance to beat your division opponents.
Sure.
And I think that's where having a month and a half, 2 months of games to get right, to go beat the Jags, beat the Colts, and you can beat the Texans in later, in late November, December. I think that makes the most sense.
Yeah. Another interesting one is that I saw someone in the chat say a potential Cam Ward versus Shador Sanders battle. Like that would be fun, man. That would be really fun. But like, who knows what's going to happen in Cleveland, right? Like, I have no idea. I mean, are they so bad later in the season? They're just like, Shador, like, just go take your lumps, man, and we're just going to keep moving forward here. Does Shador make the team? Like, there's so many things that could happen. Like, I have no idea what to think of the Cleveland Browns as far as like storylines. I don't know if you can like pencil in a storyline of like Ward versus Shador, because you have no idea what's going to happen with Shador. Like, no idea.
No, you have no. Did you see Stefanski was asked like after rookie minicamp, like, hey, Shador was taking snaps or reps after these quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
What was the thought behind that? He's like,
thought?
He's like, what do you mean? Like, we just ran practice. Like, that's why teams were reluctant to draft Shador Sanders, because you get questions like that. They're going to bait you into something. You're like, no, we were just running through practice. Tomorrow, they'll probably do the opposite. I don't know. It is what it is kind of thing. It's a rotation.
That's one of the most fascinating, that's the most fascinating conversation of a group that's probably going to end up not being good at all, but like we're going to pay so close attention to it. Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round, Shador Sanders in the 5th round. What does that quarterback room look like in there? I'm not even going to throw Deshaun Watson in there for obvious reasons. Like he's not going to play again for the Cleveland Browns. But what is, like, if they carry 3 quarterbacks, which not every team carries 3 quarterbacks anymore. A lot of teams carry 2 quarterbacks. But like if they want to carry 3 quarterbacks, what does that look like? Like, is there one that you would say is like a shoo-in to make the roster? Like, it's so fascinating to me, because I would say like Joe Flacco probably because of the veteran presence, I guess, but like maybe not. I don't know.
You spent draft capital on 3 guys this year, traded for Pickett, drafted 2, and then you have Joe Flacco, who's 41 years old. I don't know, man. It's weird.
Well, because I literally put a poll up about that a few days ago, and the biggest, I basically said like which quarterback is not going to be on the roster this year, whatever. And the winner was Kenny Pickett, but I'm like, guys, you know that they gave up capital for Kenny Pickett. Like they traded for him. It's not like they just signed him as like this low end free agent to come in and compete. Like they invested things,
but they also invested a 3rd rounder in Gabriel, and then a 5th rounder in Shador.
I think Dylan Gabriel's going to. You remember when the Denver Broncos drafted Maurice Clarett a long time ago out of Ohio State, and they ended up cutting him in camp, and he was a 3rd round pick. I would not be shocked if they cut Dylan Gabriel, and you're like, wow, you just wasted a 3rd round draft pick. Like that's man, there's so much there. There's just so much there. I have no idea.
It's strange as hell. It's so strange. All right, last question of the show before the schedule comes out tonight. So make sure that you get ready for the NFL schedule release coming out tonight, 7 p.m. Central Time. We'll have tons of content across the league, including the Titans, on A2Zsports.com and all of our social media. Primetime games. How many? Cam Ward's first year. How many primetime games for the Tennessee Titans? And maybe which of these opponents are the best opportunity for a primetime game? We'll get to that answer here momentarily. But first, Lipkcom University has a sports analytics program that is changing the game. If you want to take your passion for sports that we all have watching the show and make it a career, then Lipscomb University Sports Analytics programs is a path to do it. There is no correct path to how to get in this industry and make a career out of your passion of sports and talking sports. But giving you a leg up of having a sports analytics degree from Lipscomb will help. You don't just have to be in Nashville. You could be where Ryan's at, because Lipscomb sports analytics degree is an online program. So you could be in Nashville and take advantage of all the different things that Nashville has to offer. But if you want to take it online, you can do that at Lipscomb University. Their sports analytics program is one of the few around the country in this lane. So get ahead of the game and into the game with Lipscomb University and their sports analytics online degree.
Let's talk primetime football games, folks. But before we do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you are with us on YouTube. If you're with us on Twitch, make sure to subscribe over there. Facebook, hit that like and that share button. And as always, leave a 5-star Google review for A to Z Sports.
Yeah, and shout out to our guy King BC, because King BC dropped us a little super chat here. Like the show. Lock in, like the show. Like the show. Appreciate that, King BC. Okay, primetime games. Ryan, what do you see, and how many primetime games for the Titans?
We have a couple 2s of a guess from Zenzi and Tall Texan. We have a 1 from Joshua. We also had a 2 from Richie, so 2 was the early leader there. 0 from Scott Weaver. So no primetime games for you all. 2 again from Rooney, 2 from IR Hoshi. So a lot of 2s so far. We got 3 from American Toff. We had 2 from Andre, who says hopefully 2. Tall Texan actually, I think, changed his number to 1. Yeah, he said 2 originally, so now he says 1. We have 2. Patriots and Jags, Darius predicts, are the 2.
Patriots and Jags.
That's the 2. We have 3
in the prime time.
Yes, in the prime time. Just New England, it looks like, from Wesley. 1 from Eric. 1 from Katie. 2 from Big G. We had week 2 versus Kansas City from Lucas is his guess. Orlando says 2. 2 from Pedro. We had 1 from Eric, which is a Thursday night game, is his prime time that he's predicting there. We had 2 from Bobby. Patriots and will be one of them. 1 from T. 2 from Coach Wills. 2 from Bobby. 3 from Cam Ward's burner. 2 from Cameron. 1 from D. 2 from Pistol, 1 from Antoine, 2 from Nick. So a lot of 2s. 2s, I think, is the vast majority. I'd say it's probably about 65-70% says 2.
Now, Bizarro PK says the over-under said 2, right? That's the safest answer, right? And I saw somebody else say the one obligatory primetime game. You don't have to have an obligatory primetime game.
Yeah,
they don't have the rules anymore. There is no automatic. Everybody gets one Thursday night game in the NFL anymore. The Titans didn't have a Thursday night game last year. It was great. I hate Thursday night games. Just messes with the whole week.
Thursday night games do suck. I don't say that out loud too often because I think that some people think it's sacrilegious to say any football game sucks, but like Thursday nights are horrible. I hate having to cover Thursday night football games. I don't want to have to do that. Now it does give you a bonus too, Sunday. Right? Like, yeah, they're always such weird games too. Like they don't. It's like they don't follow the mesh of like how teams are actually playing throughout the season. It's like Thursday are just such a wild card and just weird nights. Like I don't like Thursday games. Don't like them.
So what opponents could draw a prime time, right? I think that's the hard one, because you're home against the Rams. You're home. Yep. You got both LA teams at home. You have Kansas City at home. Those are probably your biggest primetime opportunities, but I don't think they're going to do it in Nashville, because you know why? There's a massive construction zone right next door to Nissan Stadium. I don't think they want to do that. I don't think they want to deal with it.
It's fair. Man.
So the away games.
Yeah.
I think you're going to have the Titans will have way more 3 p.m. games this year than they will primetime games. I'm going to go on a limb, Ryan.
Yeah.
0.
Wow. Oh, so you agree. There was one person that said 0. You agree with
0 primetime games, because look at all these Mountain Time versus Pacific Time road games.
Yeah.
The Cardinals, we already know the Broncos is at the 3 p.m. slot. I think you're going to get Cardinals, Raiders, and Niners all late afternoon, the 3 p.m. ish window. So I say
Man.
0 primetime games, guys.
But they're gonna want to get the number 1 overall draft pick in primetime at least once, don't you think?
But they're
No?
going to get that with the lesser crowded 3 p.m. slot.
Sure. Man, that's interesting. Because immediate impulse
Now,
is
this might
yeah.
be the least amount of noon games the Titans have had in a long time.
So they're
But
moving
I say
up technically,
0.
right? They're going in the right direction, I guess. But yeah,
I just
yeah.
think it's the nature of playing both West divisions in the same year.
It's interesting. I haven't even thought about that. That is a very interesting point. Because like my impulse is like they'll give you one of like Kansas City Rams but like also Kansas City can't be in primetime every single week. So like do they want to waste a primetime slot on a Tennessee Chiefs game? Like
No,
that's
they'll
interesting
give that
too,
to Tony Romo at noon.
Right. Yeah. Man, that's interesting. That's a shame.
0.
I mean, you would like them to have at least 1 or 2, right? To just get a little bit more of like the fans' juices flowing and to get a little bit more excitement about it. Or do you not want that? I don't know. It's unique. It's a very
Okay,
unique
so
perspective.
somebody brought up the at least one Monday night, because the last couple of years they've gotten one Monday night and it has always been on the doubleheader Monday,
Right.
which is, I think, disrespectful, because it's like, we'll give you one, but you're not going to share it. You're not going to have it to yourself. You got to share it with somebody.
You're not the prime time of the prime time,
Yes,
right?
we will force you to watch the other game with our ESPN split screen, because you get the B team broadcast, but we actually want to pull people over to the other game on ABC. So I think if you're talking about that, is that the Browns? Is that, I mean, maybe at Jacksonville on Monday night, because you've got the number 1 pick versus the number 2 pick.
Right.
I could see that.
That'd be interesting. Yeah. I could see
I
some
still
fanfare
think
there.
0 primetime games.
So here's the question. Do you care? As from
I'm
a
cool
Titans
with
fan's
it.
perspective, right? Right.
I mean, from my perspective as a guy who covers the games,
Yeah.
noon. Line them up. Noon, knock them down. I would rather have noon every week so I could just be in that routine.
Well,
I don't like the 3 p.m. as much. I like the noon because I can do it, move on with it, and enjoy the rest of my Sunday. You know, I have to have that waiting over my head. Prime time just throws things off.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I'm curious if people in the chat, if people want to populate the chat real quick, like, do you care if there's primetime games? Like, would you rather there not be? I mean, there is something to be said of like a team maybe going a little bit under the radar in like a little bit of a transitional year to a degree, right? Like I don't know. There's some there's like interesting perspectives there. I don't think anyone's wrong necessarily.
Yeah.
Like some teams, some people just like primetime games. Like they like the 8 kick and let's get it rolling here. Let's get it popping. Other people just like it to, like for Cam Ward, maybe not having him in prime time and just letting him have a little bit of his lumps early on. There's a lot of perspectives there, I think.
I think the stadium is a big deal. I think because why do fans like primetime games, especially at home? Because they get the tailgate, they get more build up, they get more pregame to enjoy. Because noon kickoffs in Nashville, it's a quick turnaround. You know, you're waking up, if you're going straight down there, you're getting down there at like 10 a.m. when lots start to open, and you've got a rush of like a tailgate experience. Or if you're a churchgoer, you got to do that. Then you got to get over there quick. Like noon games are fast in Central Time.
Yeah.
So the home game late allows you to have that experience. I like going to road games as a fan. So a late game allows you to experience more of that, you know, that everywhere. And Dre Bay says that's everywhere also for the noon game. Yeah, in Central Time. Like a lot of time, Eastern time zone teams play at 1.
Yes.
And that gives you that extra hour of buffer is a big deal.
Yes. Well, and someone said in the chat that, you know, when you're in a prime time, it gives you anxiety all day. And like, that's interesting too, right? It's like, I just want to get it over with sometimes. I mean, and like, let's say the Tennessee Titans are not a great football team this year. Let's say they're just very average or below average or whatever. Do you want a lot of primetime games to have to go through the agony of watching a team that's not great in primetime? Like there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of validity to that argument overall. I mean, because I am on East Coast time. So like the 1 o'clock kicks are like, for me, it's like I wish they would be like college and just kick off at 12 for me personally, right? Where it's just like, let's get this thing rolling, man. Like, let's get this morning started, this afternoon pumping a little bit. And yeah, sometimes anxiety is not fun to be a fan.
When I was in college, I went to college at University of Tennessee in Knoxville, which is Eastern time. So the NFL not starting until 1 p.m. on a Sunday, I'm like twiddling. I'm a morning person. I wake up early. I have so many hours to sit around on Sunday before NFL starts at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern. But I wasn't going to. I was in Knoxville. I was just waiting for the TV.
Knoxville's Eastern time. I had no idea about that.
Yeah, Knoxville's Eastern time, and so when you're not going to a game, 1 p.m. kickoffs is a lot of time. When you have a game to go to, that extra time is great because you get to use it to experience. But yeah, Central Time is the best. Noon kickoffs are quick though. All right, Ryan, do you think the Titans get a primetime game? I say 0. I'm stepping on a ledge. 0 primetime games.
I'm going to say 1. I'm going to be a coward a little bit and go somewhere between. I think because the 2 was the majority of the votes. You went with 0. I'm going to go with 1. I don't know who that game will be, but I'll say they get 1 game. I'll be the fence holder for a second here.
Okay, that's fair. Fair enough. Okay. Are you ready for trivia? Because we have redemption that we have to stand up to here. We were terrible.
I've been preparing all week. I'm ready for
this.
Okay, right
good.
Now. Let's do it.
Last week's trivia on Thursday was hard too. So we have to be better. So trivia time. We're going to be better with trivia. Let's get it going.
Yes.
Shout out to Wilson County Hyundai, wilsoncountyhyundai.com. That's where you should go for all of your new car buying process and experience. They will help you out in Lebanon. Pain Bone will save you some money on that ride at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. All right, I'm going to present my screen, and we will try to do better at trivia than we did last week because we were objectively awful.
Horrible, yes.
So waiting on the share feature to go, and here we are. All right. Are we? There we go.
Oh, sorry. I think we were both doing it at the same time. That's my fault. Yep.
No, flip over here. I'm going to make my windows to where I can see the chat simultaneously and the trivia screen. So let me. All right, here we go. We're going to start with the NFL, and we're going to go all the way around and finish with Celebrity Mashup. In 2023, Kyle Shanahan revealed the Niners had won the NFC Championship game, which they lost to the Eagles. Oh, if
Phillip Rivers.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big deal. Huge deal. Yep.
Cars, the RL, TLSX, and Legend have all been produced by what brand?
I know this one because my wife loves Acura, so this is Acura.
Okay, yeah, about it, Ryan. 2-0.
Rolling.
TV, what Emmy-winning actor currently has lead role in the Apple TV series Your Friends and Neighbors?
I know that one as well. Oh, we're rolling here. This is John Hamm. It's John Hamm. Yeah.
Okay.
Is it just N? I think it's N. I think he's just an N. I've literally seen this show, so that's always good.
Okay, movies. Johnny Depp played a swindling art dealer in his critically panned 2015 film featuring Paltrow, Olivia Munn, and Ewan McGregor. I don't know the name of it.
Yeah, this isn't going to be a good one for me, unfortunately. Yeah.
I mean, I know everybody but the Ewan person.
I guarantee I have not seen this movie, so I'm probably not any help on this one. No help.
Chocolat.
Is
That's what Rooney says.
Anybody else?
He says 100%.
All right.
Oh, Rudy.
Come on, Rudy.
Doing a little East Coast swing, Boys to Men going off, not too hard, not too soft, are lyrics from this 1991 song.
Man, we were off to such a good start here.
Doing a little, what is it? East Coast swing, Boys to Men. I mean, it's a boys, Motown Philly.
Motown Philly? That sounds right, I think. Yeah. Let's go with Motown Philly. I think that's right.
There we go. Snacks and candy. While the name varies by area, this variety of Girl Scout cookies consists of crispy cookie layered with peanut butter. These are
peanut butter patties.
I mean, do we know that's going to be the tag-alongs? Okay. There we go. Tag-alongs for me, peanut butter patties for you.
Yes.
This country has won the African Cup of Nations record 7 times, including a three-peat in 06, 08, and 2010.
So my brother-in-law is a big soccer fan, so I also know this answer. This is
Really?
Egypt. Egypt is this answer.
Egypt. Egypt is a sneaky tough thing to spell.
Yes.
Okay, this is a good Ryan-themed Mo
Apparently-
Harkless, Rodney Hood, Zach Collins all helped this 2019 Western Conference Finals team. Zach Collins, Rodney Hood went to like Mississippi State, but I don't know what.
I know Rodney Hood was on the Jazz. but,
Blazers?
Like, the Jazz have been horrible, right?
We're getting a lot of
Blazers.
Blazers.
I think the Blazers might be right. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Trailblazers here.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
celebrity mashup. Oh,
that's
Rob
Rob
Lowe.
Lowe, right? Yeah, definitely Rob Lowe. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, I've
That was
contributed.
an easy one.
And then who's the middle?
Oh man,
I feel like
yeah,
I know the face.
Rob Lowe popped out easy on that one, but
The chat still is it Demi? I thought Amy Poehler too, Andrew. Is it? But I don't think that's Amy Poehler's nose. Demi Moore?
I don't think it's Demi Moore.
Is it Amy Poehler?
A lot of people are saying Amy Poehler.
You want to try Amy Poehler?
Sure, definitely Rob Lowe.
No, it's wrong.
Uh,
All right, do we want to do movies or the mashup?
I think the mashup again. Because
The mashup?
did you have any idea of the movie? Like I had no
No,
idea.
but I know Rooney missed it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, let's go with movies again and see if someone in the chat can assist on that one, I guess.
Jeff
someone-
says the movie is
Mordecai?
Mordecai.
Mordecai. Never seen Mordecai.
How do you spell it? Mort.
Mort.
That one.
Yep.
Okay, we got it right.
Okay. Who's the second of the celebrity there?
Where's
It
our?
was definitely Rob Lowe, though, right? Rob
well,
Lowe was definitely right.
So look, hey, look, soccer was hard. We got that. Movies and celebrity mashup also hard. Where's the correct answers here? Alicia Silverstone.
Never would have gotten that.
Courtney Cox is wrong. MB. I don't know who Alicia Silverstone is.
I know the name. I don't know what she looks like, though. So I would never have gotten that.
I know what she looks like because of that right there.
That's a fair point. That's a very fair point. Yes.
All right. Well, hey, we did better.
Oh, we did a lot
We
better.
still
That
went
was a
8
lot
out of
better.
9,
Yeah.
but it was half the time.
I know. I was about to say we cut like 5 minutes off, so that was progress. That was absolutely progress. Yeah.
Clueless. People are saying that she's in Clueless, which I have not seen, so that doesn't help me out either. You learn a lot about me. I don't watch things. I don't know actors and actresses. I don't know celebrities. It's just a hole in my trivia game. I didn't know a lot of the things that we're in today, but good thing Ryan did. So that's it for us.
At least you know Adam Sandler movies though. So
that is true. I'm very deep with that. So, but that's it for us here on this Wednesday. Make sure that you keep tabs on everything we've got going on. The schedule release comes out tonight, so we'll react to the full Titans schedule and do our favorite game of way too early wins and losses tomorrow on the show. So get ready for that. And we will catch you guys later on. Appreciate it as always. Like the show. Buck Rising has your first reaction to the Titans schedule tonight. We'll catch you guys later. Appreciate it as always.